feel like the younger generation is definitely a lot more conservative than they were when I was 20 years old.
Definitely.
Why do you think that, though?
The pendulum swing is getting quicker and quicker and quicker until maybe it slowly just is all a straight direction forward. That's just complete chaos. I mean, because, when I was in middle school or whatever, it was definitely conservatives that were trying to stop art, rap music, and video games and whatnot. And then as I was in my mid to late 20s, it became like the woke leftists, and then seeing younger people, it's just pushing back against whatever the powers are at the time. And that's what creates conservatism and then leftism in the first place.
Mm-hmm. It's like you said the pendulum swing.
Yeah.
So yeah, the millennial generation is really annoying, and they don't want you to have fun, and they don't want you to laugh. So then you get people who are Gen Z and younger being like, dude, you're lame, leave me alone.
Yeah, I remember they were trying to ban video games. They were trying to ban Grand Theft Auto. They were trying to ban music. They were trying to ban artistic expression. And they were like, these guys are lame. These guys suck. But it really makes you wonder about how society changes so quickly, especially on party lines. And you kind of wonder, is it me who changed, or did something else change in the preview?
When I was in high school, I really loved George Carlin, as probably most people in high school do.
Definitely.
And then when I got to be about 22, I found out that George Carlin had somehow become a problematic comedian because he was defending the idea that you can make rape jokes, for instance. And
mouse raping a deer.
Yeah, it was Porky Pig and Elmer Fudd, and I was like, I was like, he should be able to make that joke. And I was the Facebook attacks on. I was like, whoa, okay, things have definitely shifted without me really even seeing what happened here.
How old are you?
32.
Oh, okay. So with your YouTube channel now, does your viewership skew or younger?
It seems like it's kind of aging with me. Like most people, earlier on I had a younger viewership, but they're probably all
same age as you, getting older.
No, like 20-ish now, like the majority of them.
They're growing up. That's
I kind of think so. I mean, we saw the polling from Pew that showed Gen Z is slightly more conservative than millennials, but they're still very similar in their political views. And that may just be because I think we're all millennials here, and we're all not necessarily conservatives. Oh, Lydia's conservative.
I am.
But we're called, according to the mainstream left, conservative simply because we're not in a cult, in their cult.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why a lot of people who are Gen Z think they might be on the left and say that. And then a lot of them might think they're conservative because most of them are probably middle of the road, moderate, and just don't believe in the weird cult BS.
Yeah, so you know how CNN thinks that they're the resistance? I think that Gen Z is looking at that and they're like, oh, you bunch of boomers, you're not actually the resistance. This is the resistance, is being conservative and thinking straight and maybe wearing a collared shirt. Call me crazy.
Imagine wanting to be like Jim Acosta and thinking you're the resistance.
No.
Yeah, it's like, dude.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, we talk a lot about culture jamming and stuff. We created an email account for our rooster, Roberto Jr. You can email him with questions, robertojr@timcast.com.
Does he answer?
Is that his portrait behind you?
No, that's not. That's someone else's chicken. That was a painting I just saw, and I had to get it because it's a chicken.
You have to replace it now.
Yeah.
Well, when we get a painting of Roberto Jr., we'll put it up. Tragically, Roberto Jr.'s mom died, Katerina, and we're concerned there may be, it was cancer. But there's a fear that it could actually be, there's a disease among chickens that causes tumors. So hopefully that's not the case. But, anyway, what were we talking about before?
You made an email for this rooster?
Right.
I leave for 1 week.
Yeah, we did. And my point is just that, like, we just kind of do weird stuff because it's funny. And these stodgy CNN types and woke types just are not fun. It's just, how can you possibly have fun when you're walking on eggshells all day? We have people come here and they're hanging out. And they'll say something like, "Oh, I was going to make a joke, but I don't know. Can I say that?" And I'm just like, "Bro, you can literally say whatever you want." Like, I'm not going to. Just don't. I don't know. Just
I feel that way more about when I'm hanging out with millennials than I do with Gen Z.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I like.
You can say whatever you want.
I feel like I don't have to necessarily hold back as much because I know Gen Z still has they have a sense of humor. They kind of were bred into, they do not like millennials and how lame and sticklers,
stodgy
that they are. But like millennials, it's like I'm not saying anything unless I hear them say it first.
Oh, no. Right. So I thought you meant that you feel more comfortable speaking freely with millennials.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, right.
Oh yeah, no way, dude. I mean, like, yeah.
I think they're just watching us have these conflicts, and they're like, what are they doing? They're like watching us like a theatrical kind of state.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
that's
we're in
what
our
the
own
younger
world.
people are doing, and they almost are just witnessing it like, and they come off as more, gathered emotionally because they don't want to play that game that's like what
blame
the
'em?
old people are doing.
Right.
I'm not like those millennials. I'm hip. I like Billie Eilish.
That's
you know,
right.
I'm the bad guy.
Well,
you know what I'm talking
notice
about,
they're
Gen
not-
Z?
They don't like take the bait like millennials do. Like we are so overcorrected
Yeah.
that we just demoed some behavior, and they're not impressed with that either. So they got to see how reactive we are.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we fall into that camp. Like we here, obviously millennials as like a large group are just genuinely bad in a lot of ways, I think. And I think I'm seeing more from Gen Z that they're funnier, they're more chill, kind of like what you're saying.
Millennials just kind of created the culture that Gen Z is just repelling, and it really is like that. It's like, look at these lame people. Like they don't know how to have fun. All they know how to do is destroy things rather than And obviously there's exceptions, but
yeah. What do you think? You think the most millennials are just really awful? I do. I think millennials. It's a terrible generation. I like Gen X.
I love Gen X.
Gen X are relatively chill, but some of them are pretty bad. Every generation has its bad people. It's not about like how old you are, but there's like, I think boomers are actually really great. I think boomers have done some things that are really bad. Acquiescing or giving into and capitulating to is probably a better word. The woke nonsense for millennials. Mm-hmm. Gen Xers kind of get lost in between, but boomers gave us the next generation. Star Trek.
My problem with boomers is they're supposed to be these wise sages that are guiding us. It's like we're in this information age, and there's all this information, but there's no wisdom. It's like they're supposed to be the ones coming, and we're supposed to have, some sort of like role, these sages to look up to, and we have none of that. Like there isn't any. So we are just a generation that's out here floating.
we got Jimmy Buffett,
I mean, that's
Margaritaville.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, George
just
Carlin.
drink,
What
that's the
generation was he?
message.
Was he
He's a
silent
boomer, I
generation?
think.
No, he was not a
No, he
boomer.
was.
No,
He wasn't a boomer.
yeah,
He was,
no way.
He was kind of a boomer.
No.
Well, the thing about the boomers though is that their brains were riddled with fucking
Lead.
LSD. Like,
Lead and LSD.
yeah.
Brake dust.
Yeah.
Brake pad dust.
Yeah. George Carlin was part of the silent generation.
Was he silent?
37.
No, there was a huge
Wow.
impact when it came to lead that they put in the
Yeah.
gasoline that lowered the overall IQ levels very dramatically. There's still a lot of lead in a lot of soils, so
And-
you guys should
and then
always
when
check
they-
your
I stopped
your lead
eating
in
When
the
they
soil.
stopped
Yeah, good
doing
on
that,
you.
Really?
that's when they
Good call.
Was it difficult?
It was.
What kind of soil was it?
It was very addictive.
What was your favorite soil?
Oh, yeah.
Anything with
Don't
a
eat
lot of
soil.
fertilizer.
Don't eat soil. No.
Actually, I did read about a guy who ate soil. Like he would eat it because it's just like organic matter, I guess. But
Isn't that a disease?
They
like
say
pica
it's like
or
some
something?
Yeah,
sort
pica.
of mineral deficiency or something makes
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
compelled to do that.
Yeah.
I noticed that whenever we took the lead out of the paint, that's when they fluoridated the water.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like,
Cannot
oh, well, they
escape.
figured that one
no.
out.
The fluoride was what, like 1900s, like early 1900s, and the lead in the paint was like the 50s.
in my
wasn't it?
hometown, my
70s.
earliest memory of NPR was being in the back seat of my friend's car and hearing them trying to get people in my hometown of Wichita, Kansas, to vote to fluoridate the water, and they had this big,
To Why? vote to do it.
propaganda.
Did you
to
hear about how they
fluoridate
want
the
to put
water.
lithium in the water now?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep everybody from being depressed.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
them dull. Vox wrote that. Perhaps we should medicate everyone.
Well, you know what that means? That means that they're going to come out with some study that says of how much lithium's already in the water from waste or people flushing them.
Yeah,
or
there's
whatever,
already a ton of
that were-
prescription drugs in it, yeah.
with the
That's true.
microplastics and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
That's
what-
what that's framing
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that.
Tim, you just said don't eat the grass or the ground. Don't drink the tap water.
Hey, there
More
you go.
importantly than anything else.
So what Vox did was they said in areas that have higher deposits of lithium in their groundwater, suicide rates are lower.
It's true.
So we should put lithium in the water because it makes people
Oh,
I guess
that's Brave New
stable.
World.
If the government really cared, they would put magnesium in there and solve a lot of medical problems at the same time. But they're not doing that for a very specific reason.
No, but hold on, like
they're
magnesium-
putting byproducts of chemical waste inside of our drinking water in order to poison and dumb us down. I think that people say that's a conspiracy. I think that's a legitimate reason.
No, hold on.
for us to believe
Conspiracy
that.
is intent.
Yeah.
What we know is they do put fluoride in water.
Right.
We know that fluoride ingested over a long period of time lowers IQ. Like there's a bunch of studies about that. We know that it can cause high amounts of fluoride can cause dental fluorosis. So
It's
those
a
are,
neurotoxin.
these are people who have the spotty, brittle teeth, and so it's bad. The question is, if the issue is that drinking, what do they say? Fluoride makes your teeth better if you're older.
I heard
So-
that was the argument.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
So
not
they
sure.
decided that we should ingest it.
That's why I shower with it.
That's a good
because
Yeah, I mean, like I don't
Well, there's
swallow
different
toothpaste.
There's different fluorides. There's one that of course is a chemical byproduct, and another one that is actually natural. So there's a big difference between the two. And when the government puts it in your drinking water, they're not taking the natural fluoride. They're taking a chemical
question,
byproduct.
The
that's
conspiracy
waste.
question is intent. Are they doing it to make you dumb? Is the conspiracy theory. The fact that they are doing it is a fact.
Well, yeah, they knew it. It's so toxic of a substance as it's in these big these big vats that they have to not even touch it in these hazmat suits to handle the fluoride that they put in our drinking water on purpose.
Yeah, most rat poison is fluoride. And this is why they have a lot of warning labels, especially on toothpaste, saying if your child ingests this, you automatically have to go through poison control because of the fluoride.
I thought it was strange they left fluoride up to any type of democratic process at all, because they just make all kinds of decisions and they don't ask us. They're not, why would
I
they
feel
fill
like-
us in? They want those effects. Look at what they've done to the diet and like the diminished fertility and all these things that they have done. They didn't democratize us asking for those things.
I feel like in 50 years, people are gonna go to like an antique store, and they're gonna be like, "Whoa, you have plastic bottles of Coke?
Yeah.
That's crazy!" And they're gonna crack open their glass bottle and.
Yeah, don't trust any of that. And even with the fluoride, I heard another one that it costs money to get rid of chemical waste.
Yep.
And so if you can find a utility for it and figure out a way to sell it, rather than having to pay costs to get rid of it.
I love that idea. There's like a factory producing fluoride as a byproduct.
Yeah, and
then
then you have to say, well, either we pay a fine to dispose of this, or we figure out how to sell it, and by saying, oh, well, this is good for teeth. And then you work, and there's like an intermingling conspiracy with...
Or just give it to the government for free.
Yeah,
no,
right,
but
sure.
just imagine there's like a factory producing a bunch of byproduct fluoride, and they go to the local town and they go, "Listen here, buddy, you're gonna make everyone's teeth better. Just take our toxic waste and dump it right in the water supply, and then you got to pay us." And the guy's like, "That sounds like a good idea."
Right. I don't know. That's the one that I
don't know
believe.
I don't know. I don't know if that's actually how it plays out. We don't even got to get the conspiracy. Here's what I can tell you: fluoride is bad for you. There's a bunch of studies. There was one. It was like 10 years ago. It was an aggregate of a bunch of studies saying that like IQ is lowered by ingesting fluoride.
Yeah, it's a neurotoxin.
I was hanging out with my friend. This is like 15 years ago. His sister had a kid, and so I walked to the kitchen and I see nursery water. Have you ever seen nursery water?
Oh, yeah,
And
I
it says in
have.
big letters with added fluoride.
Ugh.
And then I just asked. I was like, "Why are you giving your baby fluoride?" And they're like, she goes, it's nursery water. It's for babies. And then I was like, they put fluoride in the baby's water. And she goes, they need fluoride. And I was like, no, they don't. And I just Googled fluoride for babies, and there was like government websites saying like, do not do this. What? And I showed her, and she was like, but why are they selling it? And I was like, because people pay for it. I don't know. Like the government outright said not to give it to your babies.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever, man.
And fluoride predominantly is a byproduct of the fertilizer industry. So
that's nice.
That's something else that you
Well, I
should
trust the
consider.
fertilizer industry.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Big
Good people in there. Yeah.
big fertilizer keeps us alive, guys.
That's true. I mean, they do technically.
Right, they do. And big fertilizer is Russia, by the way, but
Oh,
you know
yeah.
that's a different.
No big deal.
Big
different story.
fertilizer turns us into the fertilizer
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot
it's so-
faster.
yeah, it's like so great.
Yeah, do you think we're gonna get to that point where they recycle human waste? Like you die and then they throw you into like you guys ever see Waterworld?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like in Waterworld's about it's the world
Just a bunch
is
of water.
flooded.
Isn't that Costner?
Yeah, Costner, and then there's like a floating city, And what they do is when people die, they put them into like this pit of goop where it dissolves your body and they reuse your organic matter because they don't want to die. You know,
I don't think they're going to do that probably for a few more years. But
Just a couple.
I
Couple
just
years.
recall Bill Gates drinking the water that was toilet water? Or, like,
Poop water,
purified
former
water?
poop
Yeah,
water.
I figured you'd know
Bill
about
Gates
it.
loves to
I'm Bill
drink poop
Gates
water.
and I'm gonna drink human feces.
And he's trying to get other people to do this as well.
Yeah, that was definitely the fraternal Illuminati type of thing where they make fun of it. He had to do that publicly. Like, I love drinking poop water.
It's hazing. I knew it.
Corn,
Yeah.
guys.
Was that before or after?
If you want to join the Illuminati, you have to drink human feces on television.
I'll do it.
And done.
Or we release the tapes.
Yeah, was that before or after his exposure of being on Epstein, like visiting Epstein's place?
It was after, right?
It was during, I think, because he was friends with Epstein for a very long time. Some people even speculate all the way up until the 90s that they were close together. But they were such close friends that his own wife says that she divorced him because he wouldn't stop hanging out with him.
Whoa.
That's right.
I think
So-
it's the implications as to
Yeah.
why Melinda would have to split from that because, like,
Yeah.
I know what you're up to.
My favorite was when Bill Gates was asked about Epstein and he goes, "Well, he's dead
Dead?
now, so
Yeah, it's
right.
like-
What does it matter?
That's
yeah, he's
Yeah.
dead now." Man, that was like crazy. You.
Cold.
But it wasn't. No, it wasn't so cold. It was that like he had this like.
Don't mess with me. Don't mess
Yeah, it was
with
like
me,
it was
or
like
you'll
the way
wind up the
he's
same way.
The way he said it was like he was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was flippant, kind of. You could see, like
Like he was getting frustrated that he was
Yeah.
being asked about it. They had that. It has that painting. Epstein had the painting of George W. Bush playing with paper airplanes, knocking over 2 Jenga towers.
Oh, yeah?
I wonder what that painting meant.
I do.
yeah.
I want to see
Crazy.
that.
Like what
don't
is
know.
George W. Bush with paper airplanes knocking over Jenga towers have to do with anything? It's a weird
That's
painting.
really strange.
I know.
No
Somebody
idea,
pointed
yeah.
out something new about that rather recently.
But-
And they're
but
like,
no,
why
taking
is the
down
desk
one of-
turned
yeah.
around? Because that wouldn't be the side of the desk. Like it was a strange place. And I was like,
And
that
he
is
took
true.
down one of the towers. One of the towers was down as he was playing with airplanes.
Oh, the paper
On the floor,
airplanes.
yep.
Oh, yeah, the implications are
Oh,
quite there.
in the painting, George W. Bush used airplanes to knock down the towers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That then there was paper airplanes.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
I'm
Very
gonna pull up.
So-
I'm gonna pull up the photo now. We should probably pull it.
Yeah,
up,
what
'cause
does
it's
that
a very,
remind
it's
us
a
of?
it's a very thought-provoking photo, as well as the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky dress one was also very interesting to see.
I love how Friday just turns into Epstein Friday.
Yeah, Epstein Fridays.
I did it.
Yeah, he finally did it. I just want to know who painted those pictures. I want to know more
No,
about the art behind this.
there's a woman who painted them, and she doesn't know how he
commissioned.
got them. Yeah, this is an interesting point. The desk is turned around. The chair's behind it, but the desk is facing the wrong way.
That's weird.
And he
And
knocked
so
down
you
the
wanna,
two
you want to pull this
towers.
one up? You want to
Pull
pull
up, Serge. Pull it up.
And Bush
Cue the image.
There you
and
go.
Bush in this painting knocked down the two towers
He
in the
looks like a
painting.
child
So you're saying
playing
that
blocks.
George W. Bush
Yes,
used planes to knock down the towers in this painting?
In this painting.
In this painting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Per-
in this,
yeah.
yeah.
Wow,
in
how
paper airplanes.
symbolic.
That's interesting. That's crazy.
So I was reading the woman who painted it. She painted this and the Bill Gates in the blue dress.
No, the Bill Clinton in
Bill
the.
Clinton.
In the
I'm sorry,
blue
I'm
dress.
sorry.
Bill.
The Bill
Yeah.
Clinton in
Bill
the
Clinton.
Monica Lewinsky dress. That was the scandal of him.
Right.
Of him excreting his man juices on.
Okay. So
Gross.
anyway,
Thank you.
Family friendly show. I did that well.
I read the same person painted both and just sold them and did not know that Epstein
Where
was
they
the one who
went.
ended up buying them.
What a weird thing to paint, though. I don't know. It's kind
Yeah.
of. To be fair, you can paint whatever you want.
Like, okay, like all jokes aside, obviously we understand that the artist was making a point about 9/11 and George W. Bush, but I don't think, what happens is Epstein has this, and everyone goes, "Oh, what does it mean? No, hold on. It just means that someone painted this to express an idea. It doesn't mean the artist believed Bush had anything to do with it. It's just kind of like a funny circumstance. You had a lot of people who believed a lot of things. They painted a picture about it. Jeffrey Epstein ended up buying it. Believe whatever you want to believe.
Well, we don't know. It's important not to jump to speculations, but at the end of the day, we don't know.
It's why did Epstein like it so much to spend his own money on acquiring that idea? It's the recognition that he had a standing system.
I got to be
see
honest.
it.
I'd have bought both of these paintings.
Yeah, they're fine. They're good paintings. He probably had a lot of other.
They're very controversial.
as well.
They're very in your face especially when it comes to just questioning narratives and embarrassing people in power. So
respect
there's a
it.
lot of intent that you could speculate just by these
I-
photos alone. But
if-
just like the art, it's up to interpretation.
If I saw the painting of George W. Bush at a gallery, I'd buy it. If I saw the Bill Clinton, however, I don't know. If someone was like, "Oh, do you know what that represents?" I might be like, "Oh, okay." But the Bush one, I'd actually put up.
Yeah, so
because I think it's funny.
Would
Yeah.
you rename it Patriot Act?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the plaque.
What's the name of
Yeah.
it? What's the name of that piece?
I don't know. Google it. You got a computer?
You have
I
a
am.
laptop.
I'm
You know-
on the
you
Bill
know-
Clinton one.
You know, I just there are things we don't know about what they were doing, and it's sad that we only scratched the surface.
Yeah.
You know,
'Cause
I'd
we
love
only-
to actually know what was going on.
We only know 1% of what was happening. Meanwhile, there's 99% of what we don't know happening behind the scenes that probably would blow our minds away if we truly did understand what was
You know-
happening behind the seats of power.
I was thinking about this. You guys familiar with Fermi's paradox?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody?
Yeah.
You guys know what that is?
No, I
Fermi,
I knew
Fermi,
it.
Enrico Fermi.
Fermi,
refreshed.
yeah, Fermi.
The general idea is if the universe is so vast and expansive and large, there must be aliens, and if so, why have they not contacted us, or why haven't we discovered them? And then there's a bunch of hypotheses proposed as to why humans have never interacted with aliens. And there's a lot of them where, like, the great zoo hypothesis is that Earth is a zoo for aliens. They're just observing us. And then I thought about that, and I was like, why don't we go a little further? What about, like, the great cockfighting hypothesis?
Oh.
That aliens don't just watch us as a zoo, they watch us to go to war for fun and bet on who wins. Because I'm, like, watching all this war stuff, and there's, like, the conspiracy theory about aliens stopping nuclear weapons. Well, yeah, like if you were watching like roosters fight, one of them pulled a gun, you'd be like, whoa, come on. Like too much. But maybe that's it. Maybe we're one big cockfighting ring for aliens to watch.
Well, everyone knows you don't bring a gun to a cockfight, but I've never understood why the aliens were trying to bring peace to the Earth. What do they have invested?
Well, I know
here?
from science fiction you stop nuclear weapons because there's radiation that leaves the Earth and actually destroys the potential developing life on other planets. So if they were trying to raid life on different planets and different universes, it travels forever.
Well, that's the theory too, specifically when it comes to Mars, that Mars was a former planet that inhibited human beings. That was
Inhibited? What do you mean?
That had human beings on it.
Inhabited by.
Inhabited.
Inhibited.
Not the
Potato. You know what I'm
same
saying?
thing.
No, hold on. This is important. Because I thought you were saying that something about Mars was inhibiting growth of life.
Now it is, technically. But they're also finding the same chemical only found in nuclear explosions on Mars. I forgot the exact name of this chemical, but
What?
yes, it's a crazy theory out there. I'm only scratching the surface at it, but the same chemical that they only found in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, and at nuclear tests, they found specifically this rare chemical. Nuclear. They found those that specific same element only on the surface of Mars, from what I've heard and seen. Also, I just want to also correct one of my other mistakes. I said Google. Sorry, I use Brave.
There
I
you
use
go.
Brave.
There's the
search
evidence.
browser. Here's the evidence. Apologies for making another mistake here.
Never
Evidence
Google
for
it.
a large anomalous nuclear explosions in Mars's past
What?
from from usra.edu.
Huh.
Mars isotopes baseline, Viking lander, Mars meteorites. I don't know. I just Googled. This is what came up.
It's a school.
It's got a bunch of fancy things in it. Therefore, it means it's real.
I
doesn't
believe it. I believe it.
Hydrogen bombs are boosted by fission of uranium or thorium casing. Around 50% of yield is fission. This creates xenon isotopes. Is that what they were referring to? Xenon isotopes?
I'm looking it up right now just to make sure I have everything here
Don't
with me.
understand any
But
of it.
I go deep down the rabbit hole, and this is like a rabbit hole that I went down a few years ago. So I'm now just refreshing my memory of like, oh crap, there's probably human beings on Mars. Let's look at the evidence
Blowing
suggesting
stuff
this.
up. Nice.
Or even
Mars,
just like
thorium?
fragile life on a distant planet could easily be wiped out by small amounts of radiation. That's what Arthur C. Clarke wrote about a lot, but also he's conspired to be a pedo himself. So
Oof. We should nuke
So
Mars.
it goes. Oh, we should.
Yeah, every planet with nukes should fire every single nuke just right at the North Pole of Mars
Why?
for fun.
Oh, okay.
Just see what happens.
It is
Sure.
another planet. Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, we got this new. What do we got? We got some 50 megaton ICBMs.
Okay.
Just fire off a couple of those.
Gotta
Just
test some.
Just all of them. No, you don't got to test them. If they bunk out, whatever. Who cares?
No, you test them on Mars.
Is that your plan to disarm the world of nuclear weapons? I think that's
No,
brilliant.
no,
I want
no,
to give you like a
no,
peace
no.
prize.
Yeah,
We
me
should
too.
be making exponentially more, so we can have a consistent stream of just bombing the crap out of Mars. Just massive explosions. And then we watch.
Yeah. Well, could
We
we
get a satellite in orbit. We watch, and we're like, and we sell it on pay per view.
could we bomb it so much that it turned into comets that then smashed into the Earth?
That's way too big for
The
that.
Fox News has an article about this, and so does the Epoch Times, saying this is the title here, Tim. Evidence of ancient nuclear explosion on Mars, says scientist. And this is from an article in 2015, and that's probably when I read it.
Yeah, that's
and
when that article
this is
was
now coming to the surface of like, hey, there's a lot more to this than I actually thought.
Why
Aren't you using Brave, bro?
Oh,
What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh.
Epoch Times, evidence of ancient nuclear explosion on Mars.
Says scientist.
Dun, dun,
Yes.
dun.
Continue reading for free. Okay.
love to do
Or I
that.
can just press the escape
You,
button.
Yeah.
Evidence of ancient nuclear explosion on Mars. Nuclear reactions on Mars, Earth said to be natural. This is from 2015. Yeah, xenon particles produced in nuclear reactions. Surface of the red planet. Likely the result of two large anomalous nuclear explosions on Mars in the past, argues propulsion scientist Dr. John Brandenburg in a 2014 paper titled Evidence of a Massive Thermonuclear Explosion on Mars in the Past. On Mars in the past. Oh, well, when past? Like, how long ago?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Is it possible that it's just one of those things that's natural? Like, I know some planets have rains of diamonds.
Is it
Crazy things
possible
happen
that
there.
someone fired a nuke at Russia and just didn't say anything and then studied it? And then when we sent the rovers, they found it and went, oh, it was a bomb. It's like, or like you were saying, is it possible that something that happened here with a nuclear test went out and after, what does it take, like 20 minutes for light to reach Mars or whatever?
Yeah.
Then it impacted something there?
Yeah, I don't know when was the study, but I mean, how long ago was the Tsar bomb?
Sarbama.
Tsar bomb.
Sorry.
Yeah. 50 megaton gravity bomb. Massive.
Probably leave some traces of residue on Mars.
You know, I was thinking. I was just thinking crazy stuff, and I was like, I was thinking about radio waves, how we don't see anything coming out of our phone, but we know it's there because we can see the cause and effect. And then I'm just like, what if in other dimensions, the radio waves have a tremendously detrimental impact on like other dimensions that other beings live in? And so just imagine if all of a sudden you started feeling like you were being shoved and like things were slamming into your face. And then in like some other dimension, like a higher or lower dimension or something, somebody's just like playing a game on their phone and texting. And then they use things that interact with our dimension and theirs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if that was the case, I guess from just a creative writing standpoint, then we would already be feeling those and come up with our own understanding of why that's happening. Who knows, like temperature or wind or something like that.
I mean, I suppose it would have to be anomalous. Oh no, maybe not. Maybe it would have to be there would be a consistent pattern of some kind of, you know, reaction because they constantly do it. So like each and every one of us has a phone that's working all the time. So whatever in this other dimension is being impacted by that would just see it happening and assume it's a natural phenomenon. Unless it started up randomly and like, hey, all of a sudden around 2007, this thing started happening.
You know what I love about this is that none of us are on any kind of alternative substances right now.
Alternative
Yeah,
substance?
you know what I mean. You know what
No,
talking
I'm.
about.
What's the opposite of alternative then?
I have no idea.
Proternative?
That's not a thing, right?
Normative.
Normative,
I'm
yeah.
drinking
Seed oils.
golden milk turmeric.
And the
Fancy
seed oils with
turmeric.
it.
Golden
But it has
milk.
turmeric in it. It cures what ails you.
And the seed oils.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but turmeric's anti-inflammatory, right?
So it balances out. You got the seed oils that cause inflammation, and then the turmeric that
Perfect.
levels that inflammation.
You know-
it's like a speedball, right?
Where did you hear about this seed oil stuff?
A whole bunch of different places.
You
There's
were
a bunch
eating
of medical
McDonald's.
studies. I don't know what
You
you're
were eating
talking about.
McDonald's.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemous. You eat murder burgers sometimes too.
Murder burgers? No, I don't.
Yeah, dude.
When?
I don't. Probably. I'm just guessing.
Probably no
You're
way,
guessing
man.
about me.
No way.
Listen, you know, you can't always be perfect, but you can always strive for perfection. You can always
This
strive
guy,
to be better.
he's like, don't drink that coffee, Tim. It's got seed oils in it. I was like, bro, like 2 weeks ago, you went to McDonald's.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. You might have mixed me up with somebody else.
Slander.
You went
right?
to Chick-fil-A like last week.
I don't know what
True,
you're
I
saying
saw
here.
that
you
too.
get chicken nuggets all the time with all your little high fructose corn syrup
No.
juice.
That's
You get the sauce. How many sauces do you get?
Like 7.
No, you get like 20 sauces, and you're like, oh, chicken wings, and you're
Well,
just
hold on,
sucking
hold on.
down fructose juices there.
I think everyone agrees that for every single piece of chicken, you need a full packet of barbecue sauce.
See what I'm talking? See what I'm dealing with here? The lunacy, and I get criticized for eating Chick-fil-A once.
I'm not the one who's screaming about seed oils.
We could always try to hold each other accountable at least somehow.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
Oh, wait. I'm not the one who's like, I get this coffee, Lucky Jack cold brew, golden turmeric, whatever.
you're like, look how
And then
good
I'm
it
like-
is. Look how healthy it is. I'm like, read the ingredients right now.
It doesn't say seed
Yeah,
oils.
it
Yes,
says
it does.
Yeah, sunflower oil.
Sunflower
lecithin.
lecithin. I didn't know what that
By
was.
this time next year, you'll be so against
Sunflower
seed
oil.
oils. It's coming for you.
Yeah,
Organic
something like
cane
that.
sugar. but it's got turmeric in it. It's got black pepper in it. That surprised me. Like, really?
This is black pepper makes turmeric work. Without the black pepper, turmeric can't have like the active chemicals.
For real?
Oh.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why a
for
lot of
real.
turmeric supplements have black pepper in it.
Correct.
Black pepper is in all those like juice shots and stuff.
Really?
Ginger
Yep.
and all that,
Yeah,
and
it is.
cayenne and
Wow.
lemon, and that's why it's in there.
Pepperine has some kind of it's some kind of feature. I don't know what you call it, not feature, but a characteristic of it that makes
It
stuff
boosts
like that
your
work.
metabolism or
So
something.
you guys know how like the chickens are just like doing whatever and have no idea what's going on up here? They got their chicken city with their chicken society, their chicken food and chicken friends. What if that's just us? Right?
That's us,
We,
yeah.
we talk about things like turmeric and we're all really serious about it. And it's about as serious as a rooster going. "Burp, burp, burp, burp,
That's
burp."
how government views us, is how you
Right.
view your chickens.
Exactly.
They're like, look how they don't know anything.
They're so silly.
Exactly.
Look how they're like happy and content with voting. Obviously, we do whatever we want anyway, and they think they have something to do with it democratically. Okay.
But what if that's like, what if they're aliens, and they just look at us like a chicken coop and we're just dumb?
Okay, so Exhibit 1 is probably Nancy Pelosi. I'm just saying there's a few people in there that for sure.
She probably has two of them.
No,
I would say she
Luke,
probably
I
has
swear
two
to God,
aliens
don't-
inside of her
don't do
that
it.
are working together.
Is there? No, that's a
Shut
good
up, Luke.
point.
Yeah,
You
two
know,
big
if-
aliens right
two,
here.
Two big
Gosh.
aliens.
Right here.
Like, is there like a protrusion or something that you can see on her body where the aliens may be hiding?
They have to be on the upper torso, since that makes the most logical sense.
Okay.
That these two protruding
Why?
big goblin
this to
aliens
me?
are located right
Well,
here.
they're like jellyfish aliens.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Very,
Yeah.
very soft.
Jiggly.
Very, very soft to the touch. But yet firm in some instances as well. But also extremely flexible and moves around.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.